It looks like we have a lot of people on video, not on video, just using their phones, but definitely I think we'll have some good feedback from people. Jason Lang is our fearless leader today, who offered up the health and wellness meeting time slot to do our first roundtable. So this is new to us. We have not done it before, so thank you for joining us. We have pretty much everyone unmuted. If you are muted, feel free to unmute yourself when you want to provide feedback. Jason, I'm going to kick it over to you to start. At any point, feel free to either provide your input, ask a question. This is pretty much just a roundtable via Zoom, and we're here to answer questions if we can. One thing I'll say is that PRPS does have a COVID-19 webpage that has a lot of information that we've gathered, that we've pulled from the state Department of from NRPA. So we are daily updating that page with as many resources as we can provide. We decided to do these roundtables to for everyone to have open discussion. If you just want to vent. Great methods of how you've done things in your agency, please share them. If you've seen things that other people are doing, please share them. Or if you're like, I just don't know what to do, help us. That's for. But again, Jason's gonna lead things off. You do not see his face, but most of you know him. So Jason, thank you so much.
All right. So Nikki, how many people are actually on the call?
Let me count them.
16.
16.
Oh,
16?
how did you, oh, yeah, 16. Sorry, I didn't have that.
Nice.
You at this.
Okay. Well, so yeah, so Nikki pretty much hit the nail on the head. You know, this is a think tank session, I think. I have a few questions here, which I'll go through to maybe prompt some thinking, and, you know, we share ideas. So my background is I'm the Parks and Rec Director for East Goshen Township, which is in Westchester, PA, middle to upper class suburban community outside Philadelphia. We're in Chester County, so we're in the quarantine zone. So, you know, basically everything is shut down. So I think maybe if we could real quick just go around the room and say if we're suburban, urban, rural, and I think the biggest question right now is a status update. So, you know, for East Goshen, every indoor program is shut down. All our playgrounds, all our facilities, tennis courts shut down. The only thing we have open right now are trails and open spaces. So that would be my first question is, who are you, what's your demographic, and what's your current status of Parks and Rec?
All right, so let's
feel free to start in alphabetical order.
It might be easier just to go by the box in front of us.
Yep,
let's
that's
go by
what
the
I
box.
was thinking.
Okay.
I don't have the box in front of me, so let's start at the top.
Well, it's gonna change.
Is that me? It's going to change your talks, right?
Yeah, so why don't I just go down through the list that I currently see on my computer? How's that?
That'll be good. Do a roll call
Yeah.
kind of thing.
All right, so Kara, why don't you go first?
So, I'm from New York, suburban. I am a rec therapy major, but I do have interest in parks. Right now I'm interning at Rest Haven Nursing Home. Our agency is primarily doing a lot of one-to-ones, small programming, all outside, and visitors haven't canceled. So, yeah.
Nice.
All right, Emily.
So are you a TR student?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, cool.
Not my PRPS staff will kind of wait until the end, but
Other Emily.
yes.
So I'm Emily Labowitz. I'm with White Marsh Township. I'm a program coordinator. As Jason said, similar, we're in quarantine right now. However, we have like a rotating schedule, and I'm in the office right now. It's my turn just to get like financial stuff done today. And as soon as I'm done this call, I'm going to head back home and work from home. So, but our parks are open, open space is open, but everything else is closed to the public. All our programs and events are canceled through April 30th. And even beyond that, we're kind of like, you know, at a hold right now, what we're gonna have in May and beyond. But suburban area, so we're in quarantine like most people are.
All right, Carl.
Hello, Carl Lukens. I'm with Lansdale Borough, suburban area. Currently, all programs, all rental facilities, like everyone else, are all closed. Just our trails and open space are available. As far as staffing, there's only 2 of us typically in the parks office. We have our own building, and that building is empty. We're both working from home, with the exception if I need to go in there to do some check recs or drop some stuff off over Borough Hall, I'll do that, but very limited. Our maintenance staff, we have 4 maintenance guys full-time. They are coming in 1 person per day. All they do is first thing in the morning, they go to every park. We have 20 locations, empty all the trash and look for any hazards that might be around. And then that person will go back and spend the rest of the day at our shop, and they'll sanitize their truck and sanitize the office area that they're working in and just hang out in case a need arises. And the other 3 guys are waiting to get called in for an emergency that more than 1 person needs to handle. So their assignment is to work from their couch and be ready to come in during their normal working hours.
Mike.
Hi, everybody. Mike Cookitz with South Whitehall Township, suburban right outside of Allentown here. Same story as everybody else. I guess our biggest question mark at this point would be our disc golf course. We've recommended that everybody not use any amenities. We've, caution taped off the playground. We've had the CDC signage put up all around our parks and urging everybody to just use the open space and the trails. And really, yeah, the only question marks I've gotten or resident concerns would be for our disc golf course. And that's something I'm going to ask this group is if anybody else is seeing that, what you're doing about it. If one guy's throwing, is that what if it's a group of 4, a group of 10? Disc golf is kind of an animal all in of itself, and without removing the baskets, that's tricky to monitor. So.
And just to let you know, one thing we're going to be doing is, as PRPS, is we're going to be asking some social media surveys, as well as putting together a larger survey to get some information about what's happening right now, how many facilities are closed, how many people are we not able to serve, and some bigger questions like that. So if there are questions that you want us to specifically find answers to, shoot us an email. It can be me, it can be any of the staff, and we can include those either on our Facebook pages, on the larger survey, in the other roundtables we're doing. If you're unable to participate, we want to be here to help you, so please let us know. That's a good question. I wouldn't have thought about that, but it's like playing Frisbee. You would just be passing back and forth. So great question. Chalet.
I apologize if there's noise in the background because we're all still working. We are not open to the public, but we are still in the office. We're in York County. We're kind of a mix of suburban and rural where I'm at. We have not shut down playgrounds yet or anything like that yet, because so far we have seen people being respectful of what the governor is saying, which is weird for our area. And if we caution tape stuff or snow fence playgrounds, they still put their kids over the fencing anyway. So we've tried that before, so we are not even gonna do that. But we do have the NRPA signs up around at the parks to kind of educate people who still don't quite understand what's going on. But we are shut down all of our rental facilities except for blood drives. We are letting the Red Cross come in to run, and they're actually running some extra blood drives in our big community building. So we are doing that. And then there's a local blood drive that's trying to get in. We're looking for a date right now for them. We have a community building that also houses a library, the fire department, and a senior center. The library is closing down like the schools are, same as the senior center, but the senior center is doing drive up lunch pickups for they usually do about 100 meals a day-ish, between 75 and 100 meals a day. So they're doing drive-up curbside service for that, plus they're still running Meals on Wheels, but they're making changes to it. In our fire department, we have live-ins, so they're there. And our tax collector is also in that building, and she's just doing Dropbox stuff. And our programs, we've just are doing a change to our Easter egg hunt. We were trying to keep that open, but we are actually going to do drive-by egg pickup, or not egg pickup, candy pickup, where we're going to we're unstuffing all of our 10,000 eggs, which is fun. And we're going to put them all into baggies about the equivalent of what 10 eggs would have had in them. And then we're going to do a drive-up Easter egg pickup for family, or not eggs, but candy pickup for families, so they can just drive up and we'll have volunteers to hand them to them, and the Easter Bunny will be there. So we're kind of improvising our activities right now. So, and then we're doing like activities, since we can't do any programming. I'm making little activity bags to send, like people can come to our building to pick up a bag of pom-poms and then put a picture online of what you made with the pom-poms. And now we're doing, next one is popsicle sticks, and they're going to tell them to make a boat and then see how many pennies it can hold before it sinks, stuff like that. So we're getting creative.
Great. Those are great ideas. Sherry. Sherry.
I think she muted herself because she said there are other people in the office.
Oh, well, we'll come back to her if we'll find out. Okay, Cheryl.
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm from Phoenixville Parks and Rec. We are in Chester County. We are all working from home. Our building has been shut down as of this week. Really, trails and open space are what we have available. Our playgrounds are not shut down, but we're posting signs and encouraging people not to use them, although it's difficult to kind of close all of the playgrounds down. All of our large group gatherings, Easter egg hunts, everything has been canceled moving forward. So we are in the next 2 weeks in a shutdown mode and in quarantine. So we're just kind of trying to get some ideas about what everybody's doing to engage the community or help or support families. A lot of our upcoming programs are in jeopardy as we use school space, our local elementary schools. So some of our programs are in jeopardy being canceled because of that. So we're just kind of curious to see what ideas everybody has about moving forward.
All right, Rochelle.
Hey everyone, I'm Rochelle from Collier Township. We're in Allegheny County. We're in the same boat with everybody. The parks and open spaces are staying open. We have the type of community that they will climb over a deck hockey fence or just tear down caution tape. So we took all of that stuff off, and our public works is going in every morning and just spraying down playgrounds and sanitizing everything. Our programming, everything's canceled right now. We're all working from home. So we've created the virtual community center. We have stuff on Facebook and Instagram, including like Halloween quarantine, so dress up at home. Our Easter egg hunt, we're putting a photo of our playground and just hiding Easter eggs on it and like a picture find, that kind of stuff, and posting it. So we still have some content to keep people engaged.
Awesome. Stacy.
Hi, yeah. So I'm Stacy. I am with Moon Township. We're suburban. We're outside of Pittsburgh, Allegheny County. So we have a rental venue. All of our rentals are canceled through April. We do primarily weddings, so that was a tough one. We have closed Moon Park, which is primarily, we have a huge playground facility and a lot of rec facilities. We were getting crowds of like upwards of 100 people on the playground and playing basketball. So that park is gated, so we have gated it for now. We've taken a lot of heat on Facebook about it, but we just couldn't really figure out what else we were going to do there. We have our other 2 park facilities, which have hiking trails and open space open for the public. We are all still working, so I'm at the office today. The rest of our 4-person office, we're working in different locations and on different shifts to keep everybody apart from one another, but we're trying to stay on. Same thing with our maintenance crew. We've gone to a split shift scenario where we've got people starting early and ending really late, and working on a bunch of projects that we were hoping to get done before. We've been doing a lot of things online. It's nice to see everybody else is doing the same thing. We've got a daily trivia game running at 10 a.m. every day. We've got senior fitness videos we've been posting, different things like that. We had a senior center, which is located in a senior living facility, so that closed first. And they actually aren't allowing anyone inside of like they have a whole decontamination process for their own staff. So, and if the fire department has to enter, they have to be wearing Tyvek suits. So, yeah, so it's probably the last thing for us to reopen will probably be the senior center, but we're looking at other ways to get those folks involved. But I'd be interested to see what other people are doing for seniors because they're not big users for social media, at least our group.
Yeah. All right, Tom.
Yes, Tom Marino with Richland Township. We are in Bucks County. We have been doing a lot of what we've been hearing as well. Our main communication to our population is social media. So good point about reaching out to the seniors because we have a hard time reaching them in general. That being said, stuff that we are keeping our parks open from an open space and trail standpoint. We are taping the playground portions, like the swing sets and the play areas. One thing we are doing on social media though is we're trying to post just mental aspects of it, like mental health for everybody, as well as just fitness tips, and putting that out there. That's something that we're trying to do.
And I don't know who the 267 number is, 267-261-7989. So if you want to unmute yourself and let us know who you are. Okay. If any of the PRPS staff are on, BK, Emily Gates, and Dan, if you want to introduce yourselves and to the group, let them know what you're doing. Ladies first, Gates.
Thank you, Nick. Emily Gates, PRPS Director of Strategic Partnerships. Many of you I work with on the Health and Wellness Committee. And listening in, I'm also in Allegheny County right now, so everything that Rochelle mentioned is the same thing that I'm experiencing. One thing I know family-wise is that my mom loves playing pickleball, and it's been hard, and she's a very active person. It's been hard to keep her at home. And so she's said that she's practicing socially distanced pickleball. I don't know now if over the past few days if that's been canceled, but she did mention that there was a group of people that were keeping a glove on one hand to handle the balls that were being passed back and forth between people. And then there was the group that wasn't using those kinds of sanitary methods. So just a little idea, I guess, if people are insistent on using your parks or wanting to play pickleball, if you have seniors or folks coming out to do that, that they could always use a gloved hand to pass pickleball balls back and forth. And also, as Nikki mentioned, we're putting together this survey to issue to people. This could include, it's about also engaging people in understanding what they're doing right now, but it's also gathering information about all the people, all the programs, the quantity of programs that aren't occurring because of COVID, and also all the people that are being underserved by our essential services during this time. And so when all this is over, we want to make sure that we are telling the story of how essential our services are, how they've been remained invaluable during this difficult period, and the fact that all these people were unable to be served because of these closures, and how important it is for us to maintain our services. So when potential cuts may come, we can tell the story of our importance. So if you have questions that may relate to that, please, as Nikki mentioned, send them our way so we can send them out to all of our members and non-members and see if we can gather some data which we can use then to tell our own stories after things are over.
Before the PRPS staff try again, I just unmuted Sherry and the 267 number, so I don't know if they want to try again.
Oh, it's Ann. Hi, it's Ann Toole.
Hi, Ann.
Hey,
Hey, everybody.
Oh, thank you, thank you. Well, I had a hard time, sorry. I'm actually sitting in my doctor's parking lot where he's going to come out to meet me because I can't go in, and I feel like I'm in the midst of a really bad drug deal, and I should have a big, thick envelope of money with me. But okay, this is reality. So I'm near Tom in New Hope County, and as a park user, I've had to leave numerous parks because of severe crowding on trails. So I know what we're all experiencing. What I do is parks and recreation planning in several states and lots of municipalities. I just finished a plan recently for the Appalachian Trail, and yesterday the trail is closed due to unprecedented crowding. I sent Jason a few questions. I had one that I did not send, but want to make a case for that this is the opportune time for the Pennsylvania Park Maintenance Institute to make a huge impact with the quarantine and work in place. It's the opportune time for the Maintenance Institute to be offering support. I'm on the Board of Regents for the NRPA Maintenance Management School, and we've been working for the past 3 weeks on assisting our students, which number 250 a year from throughout the United States and a few other countries, on supporting the work in place, work from home training opportunities.
And
so I would, yeah.
Sorry, this is Nikki. No, I'm not trying to rush you, but I wanted to say on Friday at 11, we have a maintenance roundtable, and I think it'd be if you can join us for that one. BK will be on it, Derek Derica, Judy Howe, Kurt Euler, all specifically were asked to participate on that, just to see what Park and Rec departments are doing with maintenance. So if you could join us for that one, we can make sure you get that information, because we know maintenance is definitely an issue as well.
This is the time for the Institute to make an impact, for sure.
Yep.
Nope.
I think, were you able to, Sherry?
Hey, Nikki, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Hello, everyone. It's so nice to see everyone's smiling faces. I hate this isolation business. So I am with DCNR. I'm a project manager, grants manager. I have most of the South Central part of the state and also Montgomery and Chester counties. So I've been in contact with various grantees, and here's situations all over the board. So my heart goes out to everyone, and just keep plugging on is all you can do, and do your best. Here at DCNR, we are trying to pull together our resources and providing some infographics that'll be able to go out on social media to assist with the getting outside in how to share that space with all of the recommendations and guidelines that have been given, especially with the overcrowding happening. So we are trying to put some stuff together that will be put out on social media. So you can, if you don't already follow us on Twitter or Facebook, if you want to hop on there, you'll be more than welcome to share our resources.
Sherry, can I ask one favor when you're posting that stuff? Can you differentiate? Yeah. Because people really don't understand the difference between county parks, local parks, state parks, and national parks. And they all seem to have different policies right now.
Very much. That is definitely something that we've been taking into consideration, because it is all over the board. It depends how severe the situation is in each county. So I will definitely make sure that we have that sensitivity moving forward as well. Any other concerns that I can take back to our group?
Well, Sherry, this is Jason. The only one I would have is there any talk at the state level of Governor Wolf mandating local park closures? You know, because we have our trails open, open space open, and we would be apprehensive, I think, like a lot of people on the call and across the state, to close those unless it came directly from Governor Wolf, because people, like Ann Toole said, are crushing the trails right now. And if we had to do it on our own accord, we would get massive blowback. Is there any discussion of that?
Not to my knowledge. We haven't really gotten into the nitty-gritty discussions at my level right now. We do have a large meeting tomorrow with our entire bureau. So if anything were to come out of it, I'm sure that you would start to hear from the state. But from my knowledge right now, everything that you're hearing from the governor, I don't see it going down that path, but that's just my personal opinion with what state parks are doing at this time.
And Sherry, just to clarify, I think Valley Forge National Park just closed down for all activities. So.
Yeah, well, for right now, the last that I heard with the state parks is what's going on is they're closed until the end of April with all of their facilities as far as bathrooms and working, but the trails and stuff are still open at this time. I think we're still trying to wrap our head around it as well as to the usage and what's happening out there, just because so many people aren't there's being state parks, my bureau is not state parks, so I can't really speak on their behalf, but, I just don't know if everyone knows the volume that is definitely occurring to the full picture of what that looks like and what has to happen. And I'm sure it's different for each county.
It is. And the one thing I would also add is the language of closed might not be the right language to use if trails truly are open. And the other point to add out is we also have state game lands in our township. So people are like, well, can I just go to the state game lands? Because the state game lands hasn't really issued any statements either. So I don't know who to bring this to, but if someone can elevate a little more coordinated effort, that would be fabulous.
Yeah, I will definitely take it back to our communications office because they were sending out a statement to us today asking to get feedback. So that's why I'm here, to hear your feedback and to be able to report back so that all these things can be taken into consideration.
We're close to Gettysburg National Park, and they have shut down all the facilities, visitor centers, bathrooms, all of that, but they've left the park open for people to walk and do that sort of stuff. But I guess we're kind of like in what Valley Forge is doing in that sense, that the green space is open, but not their facilities, and that's national level.
Well, Valley Forge just announced complete closure. No one's allowed in the park.
Well, yeah, you guys, that's true. You guys are in like quarantine over there. We're in York County, Adams County, so we're not quite there yet. So I'm sure it's coming, but right now they're still open. At least the grounds are.
The issue with Valley Forge wasn't necessarily the quarantine because the national level seems to be ignoring. They were just having immense crowds that they've never seen this past weekend that they literally just can't have with people parking. That's a huge park. People were parking in the grass, people were parking everywhere. Real crowd control problems.
All right. Just BK and Dan real quick, so then we can you just introduce yourselves and say who you are in case anyone doesn't know you. BK, go.
Hi, I'm BK. I'm the director of the Pennsylvania Park Maintenance Institute. So I've been just trying to stay on top of who is going to work, who's maintaining things, because pretty soon grass is going to grow. And when we are allowed back out, things want to look nice and work when everybody comes back onto the parks again. So any information that you want to share as far as how many work crews are going, those kind of things, those are the details I'm trying to gather and then put together a spreadsheet so we can keep track of what everyone is doing to keep everything running smoothly. And as Ann says, this is a great opportunity for us to be that key resource. And so please send people our way.
Yeah, and join us.
Well, I think the opportunity is in training and and getting out there and helping people with online training opportunities. That's where the time needs to go.
Yeah, and we're going to talk more about the maintenance stuff on Friday. I want to keep this one to the health and wellness stuff, if that's okay. But Friday at 11, the information is on our website, but I can send it out to everyone as well. Not to cut it short, but we do have topic-specific roundtables. So this one kind of health and wellness based. We will have program and event, summer camp leadership, and aquatics coming up as well. But Dan, if you can do a quick introduction, and then we're going to throw it to Jason to really kind of spark some questions with everyone.
Okay, real quick, my name is Dan Hendy. I'm the education manager, and I work with Nikki in the training office. And I'm just here to, listen about what's going on out there, and hopefully work with everyone to come up for ideas for trainings that we can do, or any kind of help that we can provide at PRPS for you guys out there in the field.
Awesome.
Great. All right. So it sounds like in terms of health and wellness, most people are able to do some level of online or digital classes, which is great. We recently, moved our yoga to a Zoom platform, which I wish I owned stock in Zoom right now because I'd be sitting pretty. But someone had a question on the call, was for communities that have senior populations that don't rely on digital access to things. They were struggling to reach those people. Does anybody on the call now have an idea or something that they're doing to still reach those populations that may not use digital access?
So we haven't done anything yet, but we just talked about possibly, because some of the senior population, they do have the access to Facebook. So for those seniors, we were going to make like a Facebook group just for them, because we have like bridge and mahjong, like card games that they usually come into the office every Tuesday and Thursday and play. So we were going to try to kind of tackle that. And then I know I saw on the Women in Parks and Recreation Facebook group that some people were simply just calling the seniors and checking on them.
Yeah, that seems pretty simple, but I know that's very helpful to hear a human voice. I know right now everybody is stuck inside, and staying connected is a huge thing. I don't know if you've seen that statistic, but and this is maybe a long-term implication, but if you're defined as socially isolated, the negative impacts on your health or wellness is the same as smoking 8 cigarettes per day.
Oh, wow.
Which is pretty staggering, right? I mean, that's half. I've never smoked this. Well, when I was 12, I tried a cigarette, but I've never smoked. But I can imagine 8 cigarettes a day is going to drastically, impact my health. And so I think something 6 months down the road, or whatever, when this turns around, it might affect our senior populations in ways that we won't see. It's going to ripple down the road. So. I don't really have an answer to that one right now, but, we're all self-imposing social isolation. And that's kind of an albatross in the room, is it negatively affects you, even though, we have to do it right now. So another question that was sparked up by Tom was he was interested in seeing about any mental health applications people are doing across the state. Is anybody offering any kind of online classes or communications or blogs or anything to kind of talk about mental health during the COVID?
Jason, can I answer your first question quick? I didn't get to jump in there because we made a lot of noise in our office for a second. Our senior center, I don't work with the senior population because we have our own senior center that does that. They're actually doing because they're still doing drive-up food service, they're doing a newsletter that's updating them constantly for those that aren't on social media, and then we're putting it out on our social media for them, for those that are, or relatives that are. So they're getting an actual paper thing when they get their meals each day, so that they're getting, that's how they're keeping them updated for those that aren't online.
Cool.
Now, your second question, we've been posting a lot of those virtual field trips and online, like Eric Carl reading Hungry Caterpillar and Betty White reading the dog story and stuff like that. We've been trying to share as many things like that because we know that there's a lot of parents who are all of a sudden stay-at-home parents that have never done this before. And we want to make sure that they have something that even if the kids are occupied for 10 minutes, it will save them from making a bad choice. You know, we would rather do stuff like that. So we're in York County, we have a rec director group, and we created our own Facebook page, and we're going to start offering online classes. One of the girls in York Township is a fitness instructor, so she's going to do a fitness class, and I'm going to try to coordinate with my Zumba people and stuff like that. And then we're going to do arts and crafts and science experiments and reading stories and stuff, anything we can do to help these parents out so that they aren't on their last leg with the kids.
Emily here.
Go ahead, Emily.
Question for people that are, whether personally or professionally knowledgeable about senior centers, are they still accepting and distributing mail? Because if so, it could be an opportunity to create across the state pen pal system or something like that. The old school way that we all used to communicate, but that people could put their attention towards that might feel less socially isolated, which would be, it could just start with even a pilot between a couple of, you know, centers. But I know that people are concerned about mail and packages and all of that as well. So
yeah, I can jump in there. We've got links up on our Facebook page right now, which actually is some of our heaviest traffic, with addresses for local senior living communities. And they have been communicating with us that they are taking mail. It has to sit for a certain amount of time. I believe it's also heated to a certain temperature for sanitization, but then they are distributing it to the residents, and they said it's a big morale boom because right now they aren't allowing in any outside visitors, any entertainers, and the staff is supposed to have minimal contact with residents, so they're really kind of stuck with TV. And yeah, and for a lot of the folks in like memory care and places like that, they don't know exactly what's happening.
And I know it's simple things, but you know, I think everyone has seen the videos on social media of the grandson and grandpa playing tic-tac-toe on the store, and people singing birthday to the grandparents outside the house. But even little things like that, I think if you have staff that are still out and about in the area, if they can stop by one of these facilities, they may not be able to go in, but if they call the staff, they could coordinate and say, you know, our staff will be outside doing some kind of hello and greeting them outside, that the seniors could go to the window and look outside to see people interacting with them. They may be able to crack the windows to have some verbal communication from a social distancing standpoint. I know my grandfather is 97. His grandkids, great-grandkids can't see him right now, but he sits in front of, for almost the entire day, this great glass window. So his great-grandkids came up to the window and they were, you know, doing a little dance show for him because they can't see him right now. But that really was exciting for him because the only people he can see right now are my father and my aunts. So for him to be able to see great-grandkids put a huge smile on his face because he has a hard time hearing. So with FaceTime, he can't really hear to see people. So being able to see people through a window is a huge perk. So if you can do that with senior facilities or even, you know, therapeutic facilities, that might be something that they would really take advantage of as well.
Since I'm not at my facility right now, I see on Facebook, since I like Rest Haven, they're doing signs, and that, you know, they'll go around and the resident will say, and the resident will have a whiteboard up. It says "Get well soon," and it's really nice to see how the families are commenting and they share. So I think that's something. If I know senior centers, I know since I'm in contact with my staff daily, we've been doing a lot of pen pals. I don't know if they're still doing this, but I know bosses were giving their phones with Skype or Zoom. So they could see their loved ones. But yeah, it's been hard I think, to process for a lot of them that have not seen their family or haven't seen their grandchildren. So.
Jason, it's Emily again. It makes me think, you know, we're recording this, we're having this conversation, but how else can we, and I'm Nikki and Dan, I'm sure you have ideas as well, but how else can we share some of these wonderful ideas and things like, too, I know Anne had mentioned, Anne told in one of her previous emails about the idea of a lot of people talking about alcohol getting them through situations and the danger in that too. And it's one thing for us to joke about it or joke about happy hour, and I said this was coffee hour, but how can we better communicate to people some of these other options and, you know, put down your vodka tonic, pick up your water, and pick up that book that you said you always were going to read and never, you know, were, or pick up your pen and paper and write someone, and you know, at a nursing home or something like that, that we could put a top 10 out as far as maintaining mental health for yourself and your family. And also, one thing you mentioned too about the whole idea of social isolation and its relation to the equivalent of 8 cigarettes a day. I know that, what was I going to say? I just totally lost my train of thought. Health-related idea of not communicating with people and beyond social isolation is, you know, whenever you don't see faces, how that can affect the body and mind, and how it's so necessary to do so. There's another point there, but I lost track of it.
You'll think of it.
Thank you, Nick.
Well, Emily, that's a wonderful segue. That was my next question, was kind of getting around to what Ann Toole's question was, is, you know, this phone call is about health and wellness and parks and recreation. You know, that's really what we do kind of at the end of the day, is provide our residents opportunities to be healthy and well and create memories with their family members and grow as individuals and all that stuff. You know, and I've been communicating with my public that, you know, for the next 2 or 3 weeks, you know, it sucks that we're stuck inside. You know, that's the reality of it. But at the same time, it's an opportunity for me to get closer to my wife and my 3 kids, and get to know each other on a more intimate level. And Anne raised the question that, you know, of course, my wife and I joke about, you know, drinking a bottle of wine and all that kind of stuff, like I'm sure a lot of families are too. But it's an opportunity for us as professionals to communicate exactly what Anne was just talking about, or Emily was just talking about, which is those proactive ways that as Park and Rec professionals, we can give community members tools and activities and ways that they can connect and model for their kids that, you know, alcohol is a part of life, but it doesn't need to be, you know, it doesn't need to be your stress relief. It can, you know, it's an element of life, but it's not what gets you through, you know, giving our residents tools outside of substances. So are there any thoughts on that, or things you've done maybe, or, you know, that conversation is now spark up something maybe?
It's Ann here. I know that this is a tough one, but I think if we did nothing but raise awareness on that point, we would be providing a valuable service. That integrating the message of you don't need a bottle of wine to get through and have a wonderful day, in it kind treating this time as a gift, and as Jason described his relationship with his family, this is so precious. I'm just seeing, and it's frightening to me, that people are getting through with a bottle of wine a day. And I think if we did nothing but raise awareness about alternatives, that would be huge.
What if we did a day in the life of a Park and Rec professional working from home? I mean, I live by myself, so it would be easy for me to, I don't drink wine, but I like a beer every now and then. But it would be easy for me to go through a 6-pack in 2 days if I wanted to, because I sit here by myself, I work, and then I'm by myself, or I go for a walk or whatever. But if we took a couple of professionals and highlighted them, someone who's by themselves, someone who's married, someone with a family, and highlighted kind of how their day goes, and like a little kind of clip of like, this is how our morning is, and then this is how I work from home, and then this is what we do in the evening, and saying, you know, kind of highlighting that you don't have to sit and watch TV, you don't have to, you know, be succumb to I'm going to use the word quarantine. I know some of you are quarantined, but I know even under stay-at-home orders, you can still get outside for some fresh air. But if we took different scenarios and kind of highlighted them in little video clips, it might show people that there's ways to still enjoy this time, even though we're in kind of crappy circumstances.
I think that's a cute creative idea, Nikki. And
We can't hear you.
I think that's a cute creative idea. And also, if you guys have the content too, PRPS can pretty quickly whip up an infographic. We can also put something right on our homepage slider. So people visit our website. We have a slider that mentions the COVID resources we have available, but we could also have a slider that actually had some bullet pointed notes of how to stay healthy, you know, whatever kind of catchy message we want to distribute that as. But it's just a matter of you guys providing us with some of that content. And as Nikki mentioned, maybe some people volunteering too to either serve in that role or else play that role that she mentioned.
I'm wondering
Yeah,
if we could get some memes or something that would raise awareness about don't use alcohol as your way to get through this, but use your time and treat it as a gift to do wonderful, fun, enjoyable things, whether you are on your own or you're living with people you don't like or whatever. But maybe there is a way to do this that's memorable, like through memes or something. Just to
have a
make
meme
that
generator.
point, you don't need alcohol. Is to make, that's what I want to do. Point that I want to make is you don't need alcohol. It's nice to have, but you don't need it.
Yeah. Well, Mike Cookits has a wonderful speaking voice. So I nominate him to be in the video.
Seconded.
And he's on the phone call.
You send me what you want me to say, I'd be happy to say it.
All right.
I could do one. I have a pretty sweet tree house in my backyard. So my kids spend like 5 hours a day in that thing. And it's 100% unstructured, unplanned programming. And it's pretty cool to see. You know, the first 20 minutes, all they do is fight and bicker and argue about what they're going to do. And then they eventually somehow like meld their personalities together. And then for like 4.5 hours play. It's pretty cool to see. But, you know, speaking from a father of 3, it takes a great level of patience to allow the kids to get to that level. And I think in general, a lot of our families nowadays don't have that patience, you know, because we're so technologically driven. Like we want that activity to like begin right now and evolve quickly, you know. So like I completely agree about the alcohol thing, but I think kind of like what Anne is saying with the meme, like we need to like make it like hit the parents quickly with the message quickly, and almost like we have to spoon feed it to people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'd love to know if people have some mental health resources, because I definitely think as this goes on, we're going to be seeing lots of people who are reaching the end of their rope, being stuck inside with their families, because while it's, yes, a beautiful thing, it's also extremely stressful for some people. And we're also seeing a high number of people unemployed, so people who've lost their jobs within the last week. You know, 540,000 people have applied for unemployment in Pennsylvania in the last 3 days. And so it's definitely, I think we want to provide people some resources on what's going to be an extremely stressful time in their life where they might be both unemployed and also, you know, stuck at home with their family and experiencing high levels of stress, and offering people some resources for what they can do, you know, recreation wise, or just places online they can go, things like that.
Stacy, I think I can answer that a little, or hopefully I can help with that part. My wife works for the counseling and psychological services at Penn State. So maybe she will, you know, if I ask her nicely, maybe she'll help me out on that and I can get something out to you guys.
Yeah, I think those would be some great infographics to push. Like if you're overwhelmed with your kids or your family, here's some, you know, or just your job, whatever's happening, here's some great options that include recreation stuff, but also some links up to some services that can help you out, whether or not that's, you know, online counseling with sliding scales, things like that.
If we have references for stuff like that, is there a place we can send them to that maybe it can be put on a website that if you want this, go here, if you want this, go there? You know, is there a way we can compile all of our information together and share it with each other?
You can email it to any of the PRPS staff and we will make sure that it's included on our COVID-19 resource page. I would say at least one of our staff watches the government, the state of PA press conferences daily. And I did notice recently that Secretary Levine, probably in the last couple of days, did start mentioning a phone number and start mentioning mental health specifically. I noticed last week, I thought, well, they're not mentioning mental health at all. They're mentioning COVID, they're mentioning the numbers, but I did take note of that, that they're starting to mention, you know, if you're struggling with this, here's a number you can call. So yeah, we'll make sure that that's updated. And if you have something in your district, we can put something on our resource page per your district. And if it's in a county specific, we can note the county behind it as well.
And
I think it's good
I
to know
think it would be important to do kind of like a train the trainer idea on this, that those counseling services, the information on that would be most valuable locally based. The more local, the better. So that it's something that a park and recreation department, if they're aware of it, could be compiling their own local resources for that, like where to go and the sliding scale. My daughter is in a practice with 8 psychologists, and they're all doing sliding scale stuff now and they're overwhelmed with people coming in. So the more local, the better. If there a way, if we could think about how to get that localized and get more park and rec directors to be posting that mental health information on their own Facebook or website, that would be hugely helpful.
Yeah, that's big.
I think it would be good to not only mention those types of things, but things like for people who don't want to think that there's people who are too afraid to call a place because they don't think there's something wrong with them. Do you know what I mean? They're not at that point yet.
Right.
So I think all of these types of references where you can go online and see what it looks like at the Grand Canyon, they have like virtual tours, anything like that to just help them deal with the stress in any physical way. I think we need those elements in addition to the full on I need to talk to somebody mode, because there's people in all of those different phases there.
Oh, for sure. I totally agree. That's a great idea.
Just another tip, we started in Collier reaching out to all the small businesses like yoga instructors, different doctors that live in the area, asking them to record videos. So we're having like meditation Mondays. So I got like one yoga instructor already doing a 10-minute just seated meditation, kind of help give those businesses a little bit of extra promotion right now, and then also help the community at the same time.
Yeah, and to go off of that, we next week we're starting a Takeout Tuesday, so we're going to promote a local restaurant that does takeout and highlight them every Tuesday.
Wow.
Question for Question for Jason and PRPS. Sorry, Ann, go ahead. This was Emily.
Oh, hi, Em.
Hey.
I just wanted to mention, are you all on Women in Parks and Recreation on Facebook? They have that's just filled with really good stuff, ideas on what people all over the country are doing. It's a great resource.
It does have a lot of good information.
I was just going to jump in and say, as far as some of these things that we might want to develop, like, so as Nikki mentioned, we have our COVID resources. We can compile anything you guys have on that page, but also if we want to do any memes, if there's infographics, if PRPS is going to develop a slider for their homepage, what do we need to do moving forward to make sure that those happen after this conversation? How can, because PRPS staff, as you know, we have 4 of us on the call here. We're here to support you guys, and we can, but we need your input and assistance to make those things happen. So where do we go?
Good point.
Well, yeah, well, we only have, I would say, 3 more minutes. You know, I want to be respectful of everybody's time. So what I can do is I took notes of everything we just talked about. So I can type up the notes and then I'll send it to PRPS. So we can kind of find some action items in there, I'm sure. Does anybody have any general questions that through the course of the hour popped up in your head that if you could get answered or you get input on right now would be helpful? The only other question I had was Mike asked about disc golf. Does anybody have a disc golf course? And if so, have you changed its functioning at all, and or does anybody just have a general recommendation about that?
We could put that on the Women in Parks and Recreation as a question. That would be a good question. I'll do that.
We're also going to put it on the PRPS page, and we'll bring it up at the maintenance call on Friday. As a reminder, we can do this. We can do the maintenance roundtable again. However, if we have more topic-specific questions, we will have the maintenance roundtable Friday at 11. There's an aquatics roundtable Monday at 2. And then we are working on scheduling a program and event roundtable, a summer camp specific roundtable, and leadership. We'll take on consideration of things like staffing, finances, just how our leaders are handling our departments at this point in time. They will be scheduled later next week into the following week. We have it listed on our webpage. There is a virtual roundtable section on the webpage. It'll be on social media and they'll be listed in the scoop. But again, like Emily said, like Jason said, if there are specific questions, topics, anything that you want us to work on, let us know. We have various committees that can help us, but we can't do it without your input. There are no other questions. I really want to say thank you to Jason for stepping up to help us lead this today. And thank you guys for participating. I know you're all under a weird crunch and awkward situations in your departments. I'm sorry for those who were registered for the conference that we didn't get to see you, and people like Rochelle and Tom and other individuals who were on our conference committee who didn't get to see work and who were speakers who didn't get to speak. Thank you so much for participating in this today, and I hope we see you at other roundtables. Jason, thanks again.
Thank you.
Anything else that you want to say?
Absolutely not. You did a wonderful job running the meeting. I was just sitting here doodling the whole time. So
that's why you went on camera, huh?
And Jason, Emily here. You mentioned you distribute the notes. I can be your point of contact for any of these specific things that we want to do. We can work things out together and utilize our committee and the PRPS staff. So I can be the connection available.
And we'll put this recording out in a couple days. If anyone wants to re-listen to it, we'll have it out. It'll just take me a little bit to process it. So thank you all.
Thank you.
We hope to see you in person very soon.